in the shadows where the whispers dwell, always trying to unring the bell. The red road calls a path less known, with haunted streets where the eerie winds moan. Creatures lurking just beyond the light, not just tales spun to frighten the night. The masquerade of ghosts, they walk along in this gritty realm. We're all too young. Take the red road, let the spirits unfold. Follow RezNeck Calkins, let the mysteries be told. Through the dark we'll weave into the unknown, with each step we take closer to home.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Road Paranormal with your favorite RezNeck. Feels like it's been so long since I've been here with y'all, so I hope you enjoyed tonight's show. Just a little heads up, this coming weekend, but the weekend of August 1st and 2nd, if you're out in the New Orleans area, pop on into New Orleans Paracon. Yours truly will be there with some friends from up north here, making a trip down, going to hang out and give it a good time down in the Big Easy. So tonight's guest, I was on his show a couple of moons back, and he's a pretty good guy, so I figured I'd bring him on the show and introduce him to y'all. So we have Mr. Jeremy Brunton from the Common Historian. Did I say that right?
Yep, Brunton. Yeah.
All right, just wanted to make sure. Hey, Kimmy. So how we doing tonight?
Oh, doing great. It's been a day, but you know, that's every day.
I hear you on that. Trust me, it's been one of them days. So, for those of in my audience that don't know who you are, tell us a little bit about yourself.
You know, well, I started my YouTube channel about 1.5 years ago. My podcast actually it'll be the 1 year early next month.
Nice.
I've done the podcast. So I started out first with kind of doing history videos on the Common Historian, and then I kind of changed genres and went more with the spooky and supernatural. But I do have a degree in history, and you know, I just kind of love that. I did about 20 something years ago, I did live in a haunted house for 2 years, which kind of piqued my curiosity into the paranormal and supernatural, because I did see and hear many things, but you know, it kind of led to this, and you know, it's something I enjoy and have fun doing. I love to talk to people. My day job, I'm a sales manager. I interview people quite a bit, so I was like, why don't I just interview people that I really want to interview? So
right. All the years in management, trust me, I get it with having to interview people, and someone was like,
yeah.
But then, you know, we do what we do now, and we actually enjoy it.
Yeah, I really enjoy interviewing, you know, the supernatural community, or paranormal community, and you know,
all of us spooky people.
Yes. But you know, in regular interviews, within 2 to 3 minutes, I can tell if I'm going to hire or not. You know.
Oh yeah, you kind of learn them skills over many of interviews. You know, who interviews well, who's a good worker, who's going to be an actual positive change to what you're doing.
Yeah. They have
to
have good luck.
You mentioned you lived in a haunted house for a while. Would you like to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it was probably 21, 22 years ago. Actually, it's about 5 miles from where I live now. House isn't there, unfortunately. They did tear it down after we moved out. But we moved in, you know, I think the first few weeks, you know, there was nothing that we didn't notice anything. One night we were watching TV, and we had the downstairs bedroom, and my brother-in-law and future sister-in-law and their son actually lived with us, and they had one of the upstairs bedrooms. in this kind of farmhouse. It was like a farmhouse, older type house. And we were all downstairs watching TV. And we heard a baby crying upstairs. And my daughter was only, I think she was maybe not quite one, maybe around there. And she wasn't crying, and neither was their son, who was like 3. You know, we were all in the same room, and we heard a baby crying. And we couldn't figure out how or what. It just was weird. We went upstairs, didn't see anything. That's kind of how it started. And then, you know, it kind of led after that. You know, we would hear, like, I'd be at work, my wife would be just there with my daughter, and she said it sounded like that people were dancing upstairs. It sounded like people were dancing. She didn't hear music, but it like sounded like almost like old-fashioned square dancing.
Yeah, dance steps.
Yeah.
They might have been doing the mattress mambo, who knows?
Yeah. But you know, and it kind of led after that. It was, you know, we would hear knocks, we would hear you know, different things. And then after a while, actually the first Christmas we were there, I was gone. I can't remember where I went with my daughter, and it was just my wife and my little nephew, who was 3. And he came in to the kitchen and told my wife, he says, "There's a man by the Christmas tree." And my wife just kind of didn't pay much attention. You know, she thought just his imagination. A few minutes later, the Christmas tree fell over. Well, I think, you know, not saying it was knocked over by the man, but it kind of was very coincidental that he came in and said the man by the Christmas tree, then it fell over.
Yeah, definitely. Now, here's a thought now. I wonder, now, as children, our parents always said when we had imaginary friends. Now, is it possible that actually as children we were all in tune psychically and we actually seen the other side and the adults tuned it out of us?
It very well could be.
You know, that's one of the things I've been thinking about lately with everyone talking about, you know, thinking back to, oh, I had an imaginary friend who, you know, a little boy this or a little girl that, or an old man I'd see in my room. And it makes me wonder, you know, seriously now as an adult, being a medium, going, are these children having these experiences with the other side and aren't scared of it because they don't know how to process it?
Yeah, they don't know what it is. They don't know.
Yeah, it's just some guy standing there, Mom. And we as adults, we walk in, we don't see nothing. Go, you know.
Yeah. But that was it. And it kept escalating. Like from there, you know, we would hear footsteps. There was one day I was out waiting I used to carpool with someone to work, and at like 5:30 in the morning, middle of the winter, I heard footsteps. I was in the garage and I heard footsteps outside, and I went and looked. I opened the side door and looked where they were coming from, and there was no footprints at all, and it was fresh snow. So, you know, I know I heard footsteps, but it sounded like boot steps. But there was nothing that I could see. You know, one time my future sister-in-law thought someone had broken in, and I'm pretty sure she tried to chase a shadow figure down the stairs.
Natural instinct. You think someone's at home chasing mom.
She thought it was, and she said it actually went like down the stairs, but it was a shadow. So, you know, there was different things like that. I did see 2 different apparitions. There was a little old lady that I saw in our room downstairs. And I really thought at the time my wife's grandmother was living with us. And I thought it was her. As I was walking into the room to check on my daughter, I saw a little old lady, and I said, "Oh, Grandma, you're checking on Jazzy?" And as I said this, as I was starting to go around the corner into the room. When I got to where the figure was, there was nothing there. My daughter was in the crib. Grandma was in the bathroom. She wasn't in the bedroom.
Right.
I did see that little old lady at least once more after that as well. I do believe she was one of the previous owners. There was a little old couple that used to own that there. And I'm pretty sure that's who that was.
That makes sense to me because I've noticed a lot of times you'll have couples that either build the house or spend their entire lives in the house, and that energy is soaked up into everything. And that's where they feel comfortable the most. So they come back to it because that's their home.
Yeah.
So you'll get that. And then notice a lot of times when the activity picks up, when people are remodeling, it's because you're like, what the hell are you doing to my house?
Yeah. Yeah. They don't like that.
Right. So my biggest suggestion to anyone that's remodeling old homes, might sound crazy, talk out loud to the house. Be like, hey guys, I want to do this to this. I want to change this to that. What's your opinion? Are you okay with it? You know, give them a heads up.
Yeah.
And
Well, soon I might
maybe
have to do that because we're getting ready to, when we first moved into the house, we didn't realize there was a leak. We actually had a plumber come in and check, and he said there was no leak. But anyway, we did find there was a leak, and it went underneath our kitchen, and all like not the initial boards, but all the secondary boards are all started to rot. So we need to tear out the whole thing and redo it. And this house was built in 1903. I know it's decently old. So
for this country, it's old. You know, we don't let things get that old normally.
No. So, you know, I might have to talk to the house. This house, I've only seen a couple things. One day I was looking out our kitchen window, and I saw like a man walking from our garage, and I took a second look and he was gone. He couldn't have moved that fast. So, you know, it had to have been some kind of spirit. I'm assuming.
Definitely. So hold on one second here. I see there's a comment from my friend of ours.
Oh,
Tucker, yes, I know I'm a little crazy, but you know what? That's why y'all love me. All right. So, and while we're at it, I want to say hi to KJ, Lee, and Kimmy. Thank you all for tuning in. So, back to your story with this house you're in now. You said you've seen the little guy coming from the garage. And anything else?
The only other time that there's been a couple things that have been just weird. My wife hates, I've brought home pieces of Wilson's Castle and the Wildwood Sanitarium in little jars that they sell. So she's not a big fan of that, but you know.
Yep. Well, you got to be careful what you bring home from haunted locations.
Yeah,
because it gives you a connection to that location. Something might follow if you don't put down your ground rules.
But I don't think that there's been anything since, you know. The only other time is, when I first started doing the podcast, Heather Matson, the owner of the Greystone Manor. Before her interview, when I did these podcasts, I would put my dogs in their kennel. I've stopped doing that because, you know, occasionally they bark, but they're not bad anymore. But I went to put them in the kennel, and I walked by the upstairs bathroom, and I saw a full-fledged shadow figure, which I had never seen in this house before. And I happened to mention it to her, I think after the interview. And she was like, oh, it was probably just one of mine. They like to check on people that interview me.
Yep.
I just thought that was weird, but, you know, they're just interesting.
Yeah. You know, it's very well possible that, you know, those that have locations, even those of us that, you know, believe in the paranormal, we do have loved ones, guys, spirits that do follow us everywhere we go. I know I have a whole freaking tribe that follows me when I go on the road. And I could see where some of them might want to see who you're talking to and who you're interacting with. I know a lot of locations I go to, they know I'm coming before I go.
Yeah.
I've had some locations who reach out to me, you
Wow.
know, and then you go, oh man, it's nothing, you know, you kind of dismiss it until you get there and something happens that clicks that memory and go, oh crap. Okay, all right, you did come to me. I get it. You know, well, what do we got to do now?
But that was the first time and only time that I've had, like, from an interview, just interviewing someone, that I've had an experience. And I, you know, I think it was, because I haven't seen that shadow figure since in the house. So I think it was just one of hers coming to make sure, you know, check me out before she interviewed with me.
You know,
we'll see if we'll see if it returns, because she's coming back on my show in August. So
nice. Yeah, definitely throw up a couple of GoPros around the room and see if you can capture anything.
Yeah. And then, you know, up here there's some, you know, occasionally I get a weird feeling different places, but I don't think this house is overly active, you know, to be honest. But, you know, I'm also considering it against probably, you know, the 2 years I lived in the very haunted house.
Yeah. Well, there might be spirits there, but they're kind of doing their own thing and letting you do yours.
Yeah.
That's where you get with a lot of places you go nowadays, or houses that are there. You know, you coexist, and they realize, hey, if I leave the fleshies alone, they'll leave me alone. They won't be calling anybody in to kind of kick me out. You know, I'm a firm believer that they kind of keep to themselves at that point, unless you're open to it and you want them experiences.
Yeah,
then you'll probably experience more.
But no, you know, I'm glad that they are chill here.
Yeah,
I've had my fill, you know, even though I do, like, you know, like I went to Wildwood and did an investigation in May, and absolutely loved it. You know, there was never a moment I was scared. I was, you know, standing in the basement in the dark. Didn't bother me one bit.
Right. Well, if you're going to be in the paranormal, you got to get used to standing in creepy places and pitch black.
Yep. Yeah. It was that was an experience. It was the first time I'd ever went investigating. You know, I only brought my phone and myself. That was the only. Oh, I did actually. I did bring a camera. I brought a camera. We came down the night before. In the hotel, I charged the camera, made sure it was all 100%. I got to Wildwood. We did the tour with Zach. I went to take my camera out. Completely dead. Completely. Like, it wouldn't even turn on at all.
I've had it happen several times. I'll charge everything before I go, and within an hour of being on site, batteries are shot. So I've got to the point now I carry big charging packs that you can, the multi-cell ones. And that's where I run my cameras off nowadays and most of my equipment, because they can take some of that power, but I still got a couple hours to work before they drain it all.
Yeah. No, this one, my camera was completely dead. And I double checked to make sure before I left the hotel, it was 100%. And it wouldn't even turn on. It says, please charge.
Yeah. What's even freakier, though, is when you get that message on location, you go, okay, and you get home and you open your camera up and it's fully charged again.
Oh, yeah, that would probably, yeah.
I've had that once or twice where they're like, no, you ain't filming tonight, guy. You're just hanging out with us.
But no, at Wildwood, I used I went with Misfits Paranormal Crew. It's a local group here. And I kind of used a lot of their stuff. You know, I became an expert at trying to manipulate the cat balls, or getting them to manipulate cat balls, which at the Wildwood worked very well. I put them in the cellar or the basement. They had this sturdy table, and I put it in the middle of the table. I went on TikTok live with it for like an hour, just talking to, well, the TikTok people, but talking to the spirits.
Yeah.
And before I started talking to them, I stomped all the way around the table to make sure that, it was not going to make the cat ball go off.
Yeah.
And I also put one, I think that they have like this tub in the basement as well. I put one in there as well. And then, but when I asked, I was like, if there's anyone here, can you make the cat ball go off on the table? And while I was on TikTok live, on cue, it went off. A lot of times that I asked it to. And then occasionally it would go from the table, and then the bathtub would go off randomly.
Yeah.
So
like we're over here, back and forth. We get that a lot, that they like to play with the equipment, kind of run around, and depends on what you're dealing with. I've noticed like a lot with children, they'll just hit the equipment one right after another.
Yeah.
Cycle it.
And then, we did have on the back stairs, we had the REM pod set up there, but they never touched that. It was, even though I did go in there and try to get them to, mess with it. And of course, on TikTok live, I'm here. You could tell I'm an amateur at ghost hunting because I couldn't even remember the name of that it was a REM pod. I said, touch this thing.
Right.
I was like, well, touch that thing. I said, touch my shoulder if you want.
Right. So, I found also, I don't know if you introduced yourself to the spirits and locations when you got there, but sometimes you'll get more interaction is when you come in, because you got to realize you're coming into their space.
Yeah.
You ask them to interact with you. Introduce yourself like you would just a normal fleshy, normal human.
Yeah. We did a little bit. We were there the day before. The day we got there, the day before, the day of, before we were able to go there. We actually went to the cemetery and found one of the doctor's graves and paid our respects and did all of that as well. Dr. Henderson, Henderson. And we couldn't find the other one, which I think was probably not far from there, but we weren't able to locate the other doctor. I can't think of his name now. But we tried to do that because that team, they usually like to do that before an investigation. They like, if they can find the grave, they go and say, well, we're going to go,
Yeah. So yeah, definitely. So what part of the country are you at again? I forget.
I'm in northern New York, extreme northern New York.
Okay.
I am literally like 3 miles from the Canadian border and about an hour from Montreal.
Okay.
So.
Well, okay, guys, if there's any teams out there that are watching this at a later date, come across this guy, I'm sure you can use some more experience doing paranormal investigations.
Yep.
Reach out to him.
Yeah.
I know I'm trying to get some time out there in New York in the homelands for my tribe, and I do make when I do make it out there, I'll be looking you up, say, hey, why don't you come do some investigations with me? Because I have some locations out there. Not only are haunted locations I'm looking at, but also very sacred locations.
Oh.
So, and I want to look at some sacred locations through the paranormal eye, and not only through my experiences, but also through the eyes of someone that isn't as experienced.
Yeah.
Outside the normal box. I think that'd be a good time.
Yeah, it sounds it. I'd be down. I'm about an hour from the Akwesasne Mohawks, near Messina, New York.
The Mohawks used to be backed right up to us, the Mohicans.
Yeah.
So, we go all the way down through the Hudson Valley, Housatonic, I believe, and then down Massachusetts before they started shipping us west.
Yeah. But yeah, it's there's a lot of different Native American tribes in New York.
Yep.
I think that they were. I don't know them all, but
Yep. Well, I know the Mohicans are out there, and I know the Naidas are out there. I'm part of both tribes.
Yeah, and I think towards Vermont, there's also like the Algonquin.
Yep, they're up there.
Or Abenaki, I think.
Lenape.
Yeah. So there's a lot of them in just this general area. I tell my wife that we have a little brook that runs by our house. I said I should go and kind of look and see if there's any artifacts just on the bank, because I know that some places they have found some.
Yeah, until you go looking, you never know what you're going to find out
there. Yeah.
So walk the banks. You never know. You might find some arrowheads or some old pottery or something.
Yeah.
Just remember now, if you go out and do that, you find something. Before you take it, ask permission and give something back. So, with me being a smoker, I always have tobacco on. And if I'm out on investigation, I have my tobacco pouch with me. Oh. So if I pick something up, I turn around, give thanks, and I give tobacco right back. That's one of the most sacred things you can give. Because if you go out and you start just picking things up, you're asking for some trouble then sometimes.
Yeah, they're not going to like that very much.
Right. But if you honor them in their ways or in our ways, you're more apt to, it's like a prime example. I was out at Jericho Haunted Trinity back this spring. And the night before, that's originally was Brotherton tribes area. And where the church, everything is set up, the church, the convent, the school, used to be sacred lands. Well, that night before we did our investigation, I was sitting there playing the American drum music. And the whole place went still, quiet, like you get a pin drop. You can feel like all eyes are on you. So I did that. And then I was there by myself. I went out to the church, did some filming on the steps for like an intro, because eventually I'm going to make all this time I've spent there into a documentary. And after I get done doing that, I'm walking back forth to the convent in the church, hauling all my stuff back. And I left my phone on, one of my phones out on the steps. So I go out and grab it. And as I come back the same path that I've walked now 6 times, I found a piece of cedar branch. There's no cedar trees and nowhere near where this was. The closest cedar tree is probably 100 yards away. So how this piece of branch, about yay big, ended up in my walkway, I can explain it. I had to look at it as a gift from them to honor for what I did. So before I picked it up, I broke up a cigarette, took all the tobacco out of the tube, put it down, said thank you, picked up the cedar, and took it into the convent with me. And then to also help the location, I found a little bowl there, put half that cedar in a little bowl with a piece of sweetgrass, and I left some sage behind, for the location itself. And it sits on a shelf there. No one ever messes with it. That since they honored me, I had to turn around and honor them back. Yeah. Yeah. So, and just remember, anytime you take anything, give back. Just don't take. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd heard that. I think actually we probably talked about it when you were on my.
We might have. Yeah, we might have. We talked about a lot then.
Oh, we did.
Yeah, that was a really good show. So yeah, if you guys check out the Common Historian, I was on there about 2 months ago, I think it was.
Yeah, I think it was about 2 months ago. Yeah, it was about 2 months ago.
It was a good interview, good time. Go back and watch it, guys.
Yeah, I'd appreciate it. Yeah. But yeah, no. Nope.
You looking to get out more and do some more investigations in your area?
I'm hoping to. I don't have anything planned right now, but I'm hoping to get back to Wilson's Castle. I went for like the regular tour there. I haven't investigated, but I'd like to investigate there sometime.
Okay.
Would love to go back to Wildwood again.
All places I haven't been to yet that I'd love to go.
I'd like to go to the Hinsdale House as well. That, you know,
That is on my bucket list. and honestly, it's not because of the house, it's because of the land.
yeah.
I want to go investigate the actual land surrounding the house,
Yeah, you know, we had so much going on when we were there for the investigation that we didn't get to go to the Hinsdale. You know, but it's on my list. I want to go to, you know, Gettysburg. I want to get there sometime.
Gettysburg's Bash this weekend.
I know. I wish I could afford to go.
Same here. You know, if I wasn't going to New Orleans, I would have tried to swing Gettysburg this year, but I committed to New Orleans earlier in the year, and I'm looking forward to it. So maybe next year I'll make Gettysburg.
I was in New Orleans last month for a different reason, for a work conference for Ed Tech, but I did go on a ghost tour in the French Quarter. That was fun.
Okay. What tour company did you use?
I went with, oh God, it was the Bad Bitches tour.
Okay.
Because it was the latest tour that I could find. Ghost City, is it? Yeah. Is it Ghost City? No. Ghost City Tours. I think that's what it is. I don't remember off the top of my head. I'm pretty sure it's Ghost City or something like that.
Okay.
What I was looking for was the latest tour because the one night I had, I didn't get out of the conference until 6:30 at night. So most of the tours were starting at 7 or, you know, 7:30 or 8. And this one I think started at 8:30 or 9. So that's why I went with the latest one, just because I normally after in the evening, me and my boss go and we go out to eat after.
Okay.
So I wanted to make sure I had time for that. Because like this time it was my 12th year anniversary of my work anniversary. So he wanted to take me out and stuff. So I wanted to make sure I had time to be able to go do that after the conference and still make the ghost tour. So yeah, it was called the Bad Bitches tour. We found, you know, they went and talked about all the bad bitches of New Orleans, and there was quite a few of them.
Nice.
And of course, you know, they also talked about a few of the different vampire lores and stuff like that, which was cool as well. The one thing though that kind of was weird after we ended up at Marie Laveau's house. That's where it ended. Okay. And you know, I was all gun ho. I was, you know, it was like maybe not. I think it was like 9:30, maybe 10 o'clock at night. And I was like, I don't have to be at the conference till 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock the next day. I was like, I'm gonna go and walk around the French Quarter and go walk down Bourbon Street just to walk down Bourbon Street. But I had this like weird feeling. I can't explain it. It was just like my chest got tight. I just felt like I needed to leave. I had this like really bad feeling. And I was all gun ho to go, and all of a sudden it just came over me, and I was like, I went on my phone, got the Uber, and I went back to my hotel.
That was your intuition telling you that was not the time.
There was just I don't know what it was, but it's just it was like, you need to get out of here. And I'm not someone that scares easy or anything. I had like this, it was a compulsive feeling that I needed to leave.
That was your intuition and your guides. They're protecting you.
So I don't know what it was causing it, but it was like a complete 360 within like a 5-minute period.
Yeah, you got to pay attention to them things when that happens. That's our natural defenses.
Yeah, so that was a weird thing that happened in New Orleans, you know, but I still want to go back.
Yeah. Well, hey, I'm hoping they do this as a yearly thing down there. Might want
Yeah,
to keep an eye out and come down for next year's Paracon. They keep
yeah,
going.
I'm hoping that they'll do it again, because I really would like to. I would like to have made it. I was, you know, I said I wish that that conference would have been like, you know, a little bit later, so
Yeah.
would have overlapped a little bit,
Right.
because I would have, you know, mixed for both.
Yep. Exactly. And the
So,
packages that they had for those that wanted to vend, it included your vending space, your hotel room, and everything was well reasonably priced.
yeah, I
You
saw
couldn't
that.
have you couldn't even gone on vacation down there and done better than that.
Yeah,
So
I did stay in a haunted hotel, the Mercantile
nice.
Hotel. Um,
Okay.
my my work people didn't even realize that it was haunted when they booked it. They just booked it because it was 5 minute walk from from the convention center. Um,
Cool.
but my boss, he's a little superstitious.
Okay.
He booked there as well. And I said, "Hey," I said, "they booked us at a haunted hotel." He said, "Really?" He was like, and then like a week later, I was on a meeting with him, and he shares his screen, and he says he shows him canceling his reservation at the hotel. He says, "You can stay there." He says, "I'm staying elsewhere."
uh,
It was
you
hilarious. I thought it was funny. I was like, I absolutely love it. I get to spend 2 nights
great.
in a haunted hotel, but I I didn't feel anything. I didn't experience anything, and I was looking for it.
Yeah. Well, you gotta think about one thing though. When people get scared because you hear, "Oh, the hotel's haunted." Just about every hotel across the world is haunted.
Well, that's
Think
what I
about
thought too.
think about how many people go in there, the energy for people coming in and out. So you have the residuals. Then you have how many people go in there and do bad things, as far as given to their addictions,
Yeah,
or go in and off themselves because they don't want their family to find them at
yeah,
home. There's so many different things that happen in hotels that aren't public knowledge. So therefore, the activity's there. It's just
yeah,
whether you get to experience it or not, and if it's publicly known.
yeah. Well, I took a bunch of pictures, in from what they where they said that a lot of the activity was the bar, the
Yep.
elevators. The elevator was a very old elevator.
Yep.
Um, and then they said the upper floors were haunted. I was on the seventh of 10 floors.
Okay.
Um, you know, the room was beautiful. I love the hotel. They even supplied like an old record player with records.
Nice.
Yeah, it was that was the first time I'd seen in a hotel where you could get it was an old record player and they provided records to play. That was
I'm there.
cool.
I love the sound of old vinyl. I do.
But no, I didn't experience anything. Of course, with the nights that I was there, the 2 nights I was there, when I got to the hotel, I was just exhausted. The first night I was pretty much, I had taken 2 planes, and I got there at like, I think 11 o'clock at night. I just
Yeah.
zonked right out. And
Right.
then the second night, I was there a little earlier, but I was on my feet all day, and plus walked a mile and a half on the ghost tour. So
Yeah.
I really didn't experience anything, but it was still, I love the hotel was nice.
Cool. Yeah. I don't. Off the top of my head, I can't remember where I'm staying at down there, but I'm hoping it's a nice hotel and we get some activity.
Mine was in the business district, not in the French Quarter, but
Okay.
it was still not, it was nice, old,
Yeah.
but Yeah, that. New Orleans was fun. I didn't get to go to any of the cemeteries. My daughter says she wants to go, so I'm going to have to go there at some point.
See. Sounds like a good event, Tucker. Tucker
Yeah.
says off topic this weekend in Danbury at Fort Folly, Avalon. Oh, Fort Folly, Avalon is going to be an active weekend with spirits.
That sounds fun.
It does. You know, he does a lot of the old Mountain Man and rendezvous.
Oh,
So they go out there and they do their thing. It's amazing. You know, I've
I'm
seen
doing.
his regalia and everything he wears. You know, the guy is pretty awesome. I'm saying it.
Sounds it. Yeah. I'm doing something kind of non-paranormal. This weekend there is at the Little House on the Prairie.
Yep.
Well, I live about 4 miles from the Almanzo Wilder farm where he grew up. Laura's husband. Well, they're having a Little House on the Prairie reunion at that farm this weekend. So me and my daughter are doing that. It's
That's
non-paranormal,
cool.
but still, I'm looking forward to it.
Right. Hey, that sounds like a good time. I'm down with it. You know, yeah, I'm open-minded to all kinds of stuff like that, you know, because it's history. It's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. It's all piled together. You
Yeah. So it looks like it'll be a good event. So I'm hoping to, I bought my tickets this morning. I procrastinated buying
know,
them.
right. Like the most of us do.
I was like, I keep saying like every day, I need to order those tickets. And now I'm like, it's Saturday. I need to order those tickets.
Right.
Oh, but no, that was a that should be fun this weekend. I don't have a lot coming up. I am, hoping if there's any libraries out there that would like to have me. I have a presentation that I put together when history became haunted, and kind of going through how history, trying to compare some of the folklore and history to the hauntings,
Yep.
different things. I have a few different examples in my presentation. There's something new I'm trying.
Okay.
Hoping to book a few libraries, even if it's locally around here to start.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Start local, because as soon as you do something like that, the word will spread.
Yeah.
Prime example with me is the Ho-Chunk tribe, which is about 12 miles to the west of me, got one of my cards somehow at one of the events I was at. They had me come out and do a presentation and talk Bigfoot to their youth and to their tribal members last fall.
Oh, nice.
Well, their other part of their tribe, which is so considered called Winnebagos, out in Nebraska, got a hold and go, hey, you're a Native American and you're a medium, a paranormal investigator, and you're into cryptids, you like to talk about Bigfoot. How would you like to come out to Nebraska at an event and talk about Bigfoot to our youth and our tribal members?
Oh, that's really nice.
It happens. So once you get your name out there, you start doing these things, it will spread and you will get more.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping.
Start local. Go down to your local library and say, hey, I do presentations, I have a podcast, promote the hell out of yourself. Get a little bio together and drop it off. I'm pretty sure you'll start getting some of that library time.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. Start off local and kind of, expand from there. But, that's I have that presentation. I'm working on a couple others as well. It just takes a little while to get everything together.
Right. See, that's me.
Lots of ideas.
I have a ton of ideas and I can do things on the fly, but for me to sit down and actually put together an actual presentation is like pulling teeth.
Well, I do this quite often for work. So
Yeah.
it's, it's just getting me to sit down, think exactly what, the flow I want, how I want it presented, you know. That's the challenge.
Right.
So but yeah, that's I enjoy doing that though. I've gotten used to pretty much, speaking like here, podcasting is easy for me, presenting
Yeah.
through Zoom or internet. This last April I did actually have a chance to actually host a paranormal panel at the Vermont Horror, Sci-Fi, and Fantasy Expo,
Nice.
which was it was the first. So glad that I did it for 2 days. I did Saturday and Sunday. So glad on Saturday Nate was on the panel with me.
Yeah.
Nathaniel.
Oh, yeah. That's my buddy.
He sat next to me on purpose. He thought, he's so it, because I was a little nervous the first day. The second day I wasn't nervous as much.
Yeah.
But it was the first time I'd ever hosted a panel. And it had Nate, it had Adam Berry, Scott Baker, who was a author, and I can picture the guy. I can't think of his name. He was another author was on there as well. And we just kind of talked about personal paranormal experiences and kind of dove into that. But it was fun. It was my first time doing it, but it was amazing. Hoping to go back there and do it again next year. So
nice. Definitely. Well, hopefully we start crossing paths at some of these conferences and conventions. I know, like this year, my very first time coming out east will be for Mass Paracon. Sam Baltruse's Paracon.
Yeah.
Out there vending. Not speaking at this time. Might be participating with the investigations afterwards. Not sure yet. But I'm hoping that starts opening doors out there for me to come out east to the homelands more.
No, that'd be nice. This year, I'm probably not going to make too many conferences. I'm hoping to do a lot more next year. This year's kind of been I did the Vermont one because it's decently local for me.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm probably not going to make any of the other ones this year, but my plan is to hopefully make, quite a few next year is the goal. Kind of building this year, kind of building my YouTube and focusing on that.
Hey, that's what you got to do. You got to get your priorities in order and get everything set up so you can actually go on and things like this.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but definitely. I got a buddy of mine I met a few years ago at a conference who does Bigfoot stuff. He's out from the Vermont area. I have to look him up and maybe get his info over to you.
Yeah.
See if we can't get you guys hooked up together.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
He's several books on Bigfoot he's written. Really cool guy. Real down to earth.
I live in the Adirondacks and I've never went Bigfoot hunting before, or whatever. I don't know what they officially call it.
Bigfoot hunting, squatching,
watching. What? Yeah. Never done that. I've never really had any experience with cryptid. They fascinate me, but never really had any cryptid.
Well, with being a historian, you got to get into that next now. Because
I know.
They've been in our history. Bigfoot and a lot of the things that they talk about nowadays, about being cryptids, have been in the Native American culture and lore from day one.
Yep.
Your Wendigos, your Bigfoots, even your Dogmen.
And even like the lake monsters as well. I was talking with, who was it? I think Ron Murphy Jr. We talked about lake monsters on one of our shows, and you know, like he said, there's a, you know, most lakes have a lake monster, and it comes from the Native Americans mostly. They're the ones that have seen it and, you know, passed it down.
Yeah, and the thing you got to remember about our culture is we didn't talk just to talk. We spoke upon it. It's because it was legit. It happened. We had the experience.
Yeah,
and we were passing that knowledge down to future generations. So, you know, whether it was to protect themselves, to give them the knowledge of what's there, whatever the case may be, we were passing it down for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now we're getting close to the top of the hour now. First things first, there's a question I ask everyone. If you go anywhere in the world, money's not an option, access is not an option, anywhere to do a paranormal investigation, where would you like to go?
Well, I think that there's many places, but
you gotta choose one.
I would have to say Edinburgh Castle in Scotland.
Okay.
That is one of my bucket list places to go. Even investigate would be even cooler.
that would be cool. I could dig that. You know, that's a very common bucket list place. And I've heard that a couple of times since I've been asking this question. So I have to agree with you on that one. That'd be an awesome place to go.
I really want to go to all of England and Scotland and spend like 3 months there.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. You know, Ireland, Scotland, all of them over there.
The whole UK.
See, you talk about going on for a few months. I want to go spend a year or two over there and hit it.
Oh, I would too. I would too.
Every single location I can. I'd come back with so much footage. I'd be locked in my room for probably 3 years trying to get it all done, set up in the videos and produced.
Yeah. It would. There's so much over there. It's such, you know, and their history is really old too.
Yeah. If you ever get a chance to get out here to Wisconsin, Broadhead Manor, we put on some pretty good events down there, and it is a very awesome place and a lot of history in there. A lot.
Yes, I saw everybody went there. I was like, oh, I wanted to go so bad. That is, you know, it sounds like a really cool place.
It is.
And I know I've heard your stories. I've heard some of Nate's stories.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you haven't talked to Nate since the Bearded Brawl.
I haven't.
He's walked away scratching his head even more.
Oh, well, I talked to him prior to him going. But
we had him scratching his head, you know, from the first time he went there. He walked away scratching more, going, I don't get it. I don't know how. And you know, he's a very logical thinking guy.
Yeah.
Very smart. He brings a lot to the paranormal community. And to stump him,
wow.
I get a kick out of it.
Yeah, I know he was a little stumped. He was excited to go back. So
yeah. And this time he brought his woman with.
Yeah.
She had a very, very awesome time too.
Oh, I imagine. I love Morgan. She's great.
Morgan, she's great. She is. She's a hoot. So now, shameless plug time. How do people get a hold of you if they want to get a hold of you? Whether it's be on your podcast or for you to be on their podcast or find out what you're doing and keep up with you. What's the best contacts?
You can always email me if you want to get hold of me for any like inquiries. thecommonhistorian@gmail.com. You can find me, you know, my main focus, you know, where all my long form is, my interviews is YouTube, The Common Historian. I am on Facebook, Jeremy Brunton. I do have a Facebook group for The Common Historian as well, where I'll plaster you with, you know, promotions for the podcast if you'd like to join that group. And then I'm also on TikTok. I think it's under Jeremy Brunton. Unfortunately, I don't have it all under The Common Historian yet.
Right.
I am under the Common Historian under Threads as well. If you're more into the discussions, I try to post questions a couple times a week related to paranormal history and cryptids. I go all out there. And then I'm also on Instagram as well. And I think I'm under the Common Historian there. So,
Okay.
but I'm, just type in the Common Historian or my name, and you should be able to find most of my social medias. If you need to ask me something, feel free to message me on Messenger on Facebook. That's the one I kind of answer the most.
Same. I have Instagram, I have TikTok, and I have Facebook, YouTube. Messenger is like my go-to. Facebook is my main one.
Yeah. Instagram, I do answer them. TikTok, I don't log in daily. So, you can message me there. I do check my messages, but I just can't guarantee it's going to be an instant reply.
Right. Same here. I'm lucky if I pop on a TikTok once a week, and it's usually just to throw my reels up or my ads for the show.
Well, that's what I do. Twice a week I log into to TikTok and I set up for the half week, and then so that's kind of, I have that routine down. But yeah, Facebook's the easiest to get hold of me if you want a message.
Yeah, that's the common thing. At least Messenger, I have it right on my phone. If people message me, it's there right away. If I'm not busy, you might get a response instant. If I'm busy, it might be an hour.
Yeah,
but that's the best way.
Oh yeah,
I get it. So, any last words you'd like to say before we jump out of here?
I want to just thank you for having me on. This was fun.
I appreciate you coming on.
So,
I enjoyed being on your show. I'm glad you were able to come on mine. And for all those out there that are listening or watching, whether it's live or on the replay, remember, life is too short to dream your life away. Get out there and live your dreams today. Okay? And with that being said, Sean, take us away, buddy.